Today, I want to talk to you about a topic that is very important for all English learners. How to learn English. Have you ever felt frustrated because you've been trying to learn English for months, maybe even years, but still don't feel fluent? What if I told you that a few simple changes could transform the way you learn? But before going into that, let's first understand. Why learn English? You may have already heard people say that English is a global language, or that it's necessary for success in many areas of life. But let's explore this idea more deeply. First, did you know that English is spoken in more than 100 countries around the world? Whether you are in Europe, Asia, Africa, or the Americas, there's a good chance you'll meet someone who speaks English. It's not just the official language of countries like the United States, the United Kingdom, Australia, and Canada. It's also widely spoken in countries where it isn't the native language. In places like India, Germany, Japan, or Brazil, English is commonly used as a second language for business, travel, and education. Imagine being able to communicate with people from all these different places, even if you don't speak their native language. English becomes the bridge that connects you to the world. Learning English opens up a world of opportunities. Let's start with something as simple as travel. Picture yourself visiting a new country. You're at an airport or train station, and all the signs are in English. The announcements you hear are in English, and the people at the information desk speak English too. When you know English, you don't have to worry about getting lost or not understanding directions. You can confidently ask for help, book tickets, check into hotels, and even chat with locals. Traveling becomes more enjoyable when you can understand what's going on around you and communicate easily with others. Now, let's think about how English can help you in your professional life. Today, we live in a world where businesses are more connected than ever before. Many companies, even in non-English speaking countries, use English to communicate with international partners, clients, or customers. If you speak English, you have a huge advantage in the job market. It can help you get a promotion, land a job in an international company, or even work abroad. Employers love to hire people who can communicate well in English because it shows that you can handle global business. Knowing English opens the door to better jobs, higher salaries, and career growth. But the benefits don't stop there. Learning English also allows you to access a vast amount of information that might not be available in your native language. Think about the books you want to read, the movies you want to watch, or the songs you want to listen to. So many of the world's most popular books, films, and songs are in English. If you know English, you don't need translations or subtitles. You can enjoy them in their original form and understand them the way they were meant to be understood. Reading a book or watching a movie in its original language is a much richer experience than relying on a translation. For example, many of the world's most famous movies are produced in Hollywood, where English is the primary language. When you learn English, you can watch these movies and understand the dialogues, the jokes, and the cultural references without having to wait for a translated version. You can laugh along with the characters, cry with them, and fully immerse yourself in the story. The same goes for music. So many of the top songs on the radio are in English. When you know the language, you can sing along and truly feel the meaning behind the lyrics. And let's not forget about books. If you enjoy reading, Learning English gives you access to countless books from around the world. Whether it's classic literature, modern fiction, or nonfiction, you'll find a treasure trove of knowledge in English. Authors like William Shakespeare, J.K. Rowling, and George Orwell wrote their famous works in English. When you read them in their original language, you get the full experience of their creativity and style. But it's not just about famous authors. English gives you access to educational resources as well. Many scientific papers, research articles, and university courses are published in English. If you want to learn about new technology, medicine, or even art, knowing English will give you the knowledge you need. Now think about your social life. Do you enjoy meeting new people? With English, you can make friends from all over the world. Imagine chatting with someone from Japan, Brazil, or France, all in English. You can learn about different cultures, share your own experiences, and build friendships that cross borders. English is a language that connects people from different countries and backgrounds, allowing you to broaden your social network in ways you may never have thought possible. With social media platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube being widely used in English, you can follow influencers, read posts, and leave comments in English, joining global conversations with ease. So, as you can see, there are so many reasons to learn English. Whether it's for work, travel, education, entertainment, or simply to connect with more people, English is the key that unlocks all these doors. The world is becoming more connected every day, and learning English helps you be a part of that global community. It gives you the ability to understand others and to express yourself clearly, no matter where you are in the world. Now that we've covered why learning English is so valuable, you might be asking yourself, how can I actually learn English? Where do I start, and what's the best way to improve? Don't worry, I'm here to guide you through that too. There are many ways to learn English, and I'm going to share some of the best tips with you. These tips will help you start strong and continue improving every day. Whether you're just beginning or already have some knowledge, these tips will make your learning journey easier and more enjoyable. Are you ready? Let's move on to the first tip, and I promise you, learning English will become not only easier, but also a lot of fun. All right, students, let's talk about the first and most important step in learning English, setting your goal. Why is this step so important? Let me explain. Imagine you are going on a journey. Before you start, you need to know where you're going, right? Without a destination, you might wander around and never reach anywhere. Learning English is just like that. If you don't have a clear goal, it's easy to feel lost, frustrated, or even give up. But when you know exactly what you want to achieve, you have a direction, and every step you take brings you closer to success. Now let's think about some goals you can set for yourself. Your goal should be specific and personal to you. For example, you might want to learn English because you want to pass an exam, like IELTS or TOEFL. If this is your goal, you'll focus on reading, writing, listening, and speaking skills, as well as grammar and vocabulary. You'll spend time practicing mock tests and improving your weak areas. Maybe your goal is to travel to another country. Let's say you want to visit the United States, Canada, or Australia. In this case, your goal might be to learn how to have basic conversations, like asking for directions, ordering food, or booking a hotel. You don't need to know every difficult word or grammar rule, but you do need to feel confident speaking and understanding everyday English. Or perhaps your dream is to get a better job. Many companies today require employees who can speak English, especially in fields like technology, business, and education. If this is your goal, you'll focus on learning professional vocabulary, writing emails, and practicing speaking in a formal way. Imagine being able to give a presentation in English or answer questions in a job interview. How amazing would that feel? Some of you might have a goal to connect with the world. Maybe you want to watch movies without subtitles, read books in English, or make friends from other countries. If this is your goal, you'll focus on improving your listening and reading skills. You'll practice understanding different accents and learn casual, everyday English. Your goal can also be something simple, like understanding songs or talking to an English-speaking friend. It doesn't matter if your goal is big or small. What matters is that it's clear and meaningful to you. Now, how do you set your goal? First, ask yourself, why do I want to learn English? Write down your answer. Be honest and specific. For example, instead of saying, I want to learn English, say, I want to learn English to pass the IELTS test with a 7.0 band score, or I want to learn English to talk to customers at my job. Next, break your goal into smaller steps. If your goal is to pass an exam, one step could be learning 10 new vocabulary words every day. If your goal is to speak English while traveling, one step could be practicing common travel phrases like, how much does this cost? Or, where's the train station? Finally, give yourself a deadline. Goals without deadlines can take forever. For example, say, I want to learn 500 new words in 3 months. Or, I want to practice speaking English every day for 15 minutes for 1 month. Deadlines keep you focused and motivated. Remember, students, setting a goal is not just about writing something down. It's about giving yourself a purpose, a reason to keep going when things get hard. When you have a clear goal, you'll find it easier to stay focused, and you'll feel proud of every small achievement. So, take a moment today to think about your goal. Write it down, say it out loud, and most importantly, believe that you can achieve it. With a clear goal and a positive attitude, nothing is impossible. Now, my dear students, let's talk about one of the most important steps in learning English: practicing your listening skills. Listening is like the foundation of a house. Without it, everything else becomes shaky. If you want to improve your speaking, vocabulary, and even grammar, it all begins with listening. You might wonder, why is listening so important? Well, think about how babies learn a language. Do they start by reading or writing? No, they first listen. They listen to their parents, to music, and to the sounds around them. Slowly, they begin to understand words and sentences, and then they start speaking. The same method works for you when learning English. The more you listen, the more you'll understand, and the more confident you'll become. Listening to English daily is like feeding your brain. Every time you hear English, your brain is working in the background, picking up patterns, words, and pronunciation. Even if you don't understand everything at first, don't worry. It's a process. Over time, you'll notice improvement, and what seemed difficult will start to make sense. Now, how can you practice listening every day? Let me give you some simple and fun ideas. Listen to podcasts. Podcasts are a fantastic way to improve your listening skills. You can find podcasts on almost any topic: travel, technology, education, or even stories. Start with podcasts made for English learners. These usually have slower speech and simpler vocabulary. For example, you can listen to the Fluent Journey podcast. Spend 10 to 15 minutes every day listening and try to focus on understanding the main idea. Listen to English songs. Who doesn't love music? Songs are an enjoyable way to practice listening. Pick songs with clear lyrics, like pop or country songs. Listen to them while you relax or do chores. Try to follow along with the lyrics. Singing along is even better because it helps your pronunciation. For example, start with songs like Let It Be by the Beatles or Someone Like You by Adele. Watch short conversations or videos. You don't have to watch long movies to improve your listening. Start with short videos, like interviews, clips from TV shows, or even YouTube channels for English learners. Watch something you enjoy, like cooking shows, travel vlogs, or funny clips. While watching, focus on how people pronounce words and use expressions. If you can, turn on subtitles at first and then watch again without them. Practice listening to everyday English. If you live in a place where English is spoken, pay attention to conversations around you. Listen to announcements at train stations or in stores. If English isn't spoken around you, don't worry. You can create an English-speaking environment by listening to recorded conversations. For example, download audio lessons that focus on common situations like shopping, ordering food, or asking for directions. Use listening apps. There are many apps designed to improve your listening skills. Apps like Duolingo or BBC Learning. English have listening exercises where you can hear dialogues and answer questions. These exercises are short and perfect for daily practice. Watch English movies or series. Once you're comfortable with short videos, challenge yourself by watching English movies or TV series. Start with subtitles to help you understand, but try to gradually wean off them. Shows like Friends or The Big Bang Theory have natural conversations and are great for learning casual English. Tips for better listening. Listen with focus. Don't just hear, really listen. Try to catch the main idea, keywords, and sentence patterns. Repeat what you hear. After listening, repeat phrases or sentences out loud. This improves your pronunciation and helps you remember. Be patient. At first, it might feel hard, but don't give up. Consistency is the key. How listening helps. Other skills. Practicing listening doesn't just make you a better listener. It helps improve your speaking because you learn how words are pronounced and used in sentences. It also improves your grammar because you hear how native speakers naturally form sentences. And most importantly, it boosts your confidence because you start to understand English without needing translations. So, students, make listening a part of your daily routine. Just 10 to 20 minutes a day can make a huge difference. Whether you're walking, cooking, or relaxing, there's always time to listen. Remember, the more you listen, the closer you get to your dream of speaking English fluently. Are you ready to make listening a habit? Start today, and you'll be amazed at how much you can achieve. Speak with confidence. Now, my dear students, let's talk about something very important. Speaking English with confidence. For many of you, this might feel like the hardest part of learning English. You might think, what if I make a mistake? What if people laugh at me? Let me tell you something. Mistakes are not something to fear. They are a part of learning. Every mistake you make is a step forward in your journey to becoming a confident English speaker. Think about it this way. When you were a baby learning your first language, did you speak perfectly from the start? Of course not. You made many mistakes, but you kept trying, and eventually, you learn to speak fluently. The same applies to learning English. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to try. Why confidence is important. Confidence is like the key to opening the door to communication. When you speak with confidence, people focus on your message, not your mistakes. Even if your grammar isn't perfect or your accent is strong, what matters most is that you're willing to communicate. Speaking is about sharing your ideas, your thoughts, and your feelings. The more you speak, the better you'll become, and the more confident you'll feel. Overcoming the fear of mistakes. Let me share a secret. Even native speakers make mistakes. They sometimes forget words or mix up grammar, but they don't stop speaking because of it. Remember, no one expects you to speak perfect English, especially when you're learning. People respect you for trying. Instead of thinking about your mistakes as failures, think of them as lessons. Each mistake helps you grow and improve. How to start speaking with confidence. Here are some simple ways to practice speaking English and build your confidence. 1. Talk to yourself. This might sound funny, but it works. Talk to yourself in English when you're alone. For example, describe what you're doing. I am cooking dinner. I am cutting vegetables. Or, talk about your day. Today, I went to the market and bought some fruit. When you practice alone, there's no pressure, and you can experiment with new words and sentences. 2. Practice with a mirror. Stand in front of a mirror and speak. Pretend you're talking to someone. Watch your facial expressions and body language. This helps you feel more comfortable speaking and improves your confidence when talking to others. 3. Join online speaking groups. There are many online communities where you can practice speaking English. Look for language exchange groups or English learning forums. You can find people from all over the world who are also learning English. Practice with them through video calls, voice messages, or even text chats. Remember, they're learners like you, so there's no need to feel shy. 4. Speak with a friend or family member. If you have a friend or family member who knows English, ask them to practice with you. Have short conversations about simple topics like your favorite food, hobbies, or weekend plans. Practicing with someone you know can make you feel more relaxed. 5. Use speaking apps. There are apps designed to help you practice speaking English. Apps like Cambly or HelloTalk connect you with native speakers or other learners. These apps are great for practicing real conversations in a safe and supportive environment. 6th, shadowing practice. Shadowing means listening to someone speak and repeating what they say, word for word, as quickly as you can. You can do this with podcasts, videos, or TV shows. This method helps improve your pronunciation, intonation, and confidence. 7. Start small. If speaking in full sentences feels hard, start with single words or short phrases. For example, practice saying, "Hello, how are you?" or "I would like a cup of coffee." Gradually, add more words and sentences as you feel more confident. 8. Record yours. Use your phone to record yourself speaking. Listen to the recording and notice areas for improvement. You might feel shy at first, but this is a powerful way to track your progress and see how much you've improved over time. Build a positive mindset. Confidence doesn't just come from speaking, it comes from believing in yourself. Every time you speak, remind yourself, I am learning. I am improving. I am getting better every day. Don't compare yourself to others. Focus on your own progress and celebrate every small step. Speak as much as you can. The more you speak, the more natural it will feel. Don't wait for the perfect moment or perfect sentence. Speak whenever you get the chance. Talk to your classmates, teachers, or even strangers in English. The more you use the language, the more confident you'll become. Remember this: confidence is not about speaking perfectly. It's about speaking bravely. Be proud of yourself for every effort you make. You are learning a new skill, and that takes courage and determination. Mistakes are not the end. They're the beginning of improvement. So, my dear students, I want you to promise yourself something today. Promise that you'll try to speak English every day, no matter how small the effort. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be willing to try. Together, we'll turn your fear into confidence, and your mistakes into milestones. Are you ready to speak with confidence? Let's take the first step today. Read regularly. Once, there was a boy named Ali who wanted to improve his English. One day, his teacher said, "Ali, if you want to learn English faster, you need to start reading every day." Ali was curious and asked, "Why is reading so important?" His teacher smiled and said, "When you read, you see how words and sentences work together. You learn new words and understand how to use them. It's like having a secret way to improve your English without even speaking." Ali decided to start reading simple books. He chose a storybook for kids with short sentences and pictures. Every night, before going to bed, he read one story. Sometimes he didn't understand all the words, but he kept a small notebook to write down new words. The next day, he would look up their meanings and try to use them in sentences. After a few weeks, Ali noticed something amazing. He could understand more English when watching TV or listening to others. His speaking also improved because he started using the words he had learned from his books. Ali's teacher told him, "Reading is like planting seeds. Each book you read is a seed, and over time, your knowledge will grow like a big tree." So Ali kept reading. He read stories, short articles, and even funny comics. He made reading a part of his day, and soon he felt more confident in English. Write a little every day. Ali's teacher gave him another tip. If you want to get better at English, you should write a little every day. Ali was unsure. "But what should I write about?" he asked. "Start with simple things," said his teacher. "Write about your day. For example, today I went to the park. I saw a bird. It was beautiful." You don't need to write long paragraphs. Just a few sentences are enough. Ali bought a small notebook and started writing every evening. On the first day, he wrote, "I went to school. I learned English. I played football with my friends." It wasn't much, but it was a good start. As the days went by, Ali started writing more. He wrote about his favorite food, his family, and even his dreams. Sometimes he made mistakes, but he didn't stop. His teacher told him, "Mistakes are good because they help you learn." One day, Ali decided to write a short story. It was about a little dog who learned English to make new friends. Ali was so proud of his story that he showed it to his teacher. The teacher smiled and said, "See, Ali, writing helps you express yourself. The more you write, the better you'll get." From that day, Ali wrote something every day. He wrote letters to his friends, notes to his family, and even messages in English on his phone. Writing became fun for him, and it helped him remember new words and practice grammar. Ali realized that reading and writing were like two best friends. Reading gave him new ideas, and writing helped him use those ideas. Together, they made Ali's English much better. So, students like Ali, you can start reading and writing today. Pick a simple story to read and write a few sentences about your day. These small steps will help you improve your English little by little. Keep going and never give up.